Today on Ballistic BBQ, I'm going to be doing a butter and beef tallow basted ribeye steak, forward seared on Lone Star Grillz El Fuego Trio. Let's get going. And here's that steak. This is a 2-pound USDA prime ribeye, and this has been dry aged 35 days. Let me give you a little background on the steak. I received a request on my Ballistic Burgers channel to recreate the Black Label burger from the Minetta Tavern in New York, New York. It calls for a dry aged blend, a dry aged ribeye in the grind. So what I did was I purchased a 2-bone prime rib roast and I dry aged it here at home. Now, for those of you who aren't really familiar with why dry aging makes the steak way more tender, and it also concentrates the flavor, so it's a much deeper flavor. And if you go really long, it gets a little bit of that kind of a funky flavor, but my happy place with dry aged meat is 30 to 35 days, and this is 35. It's going to be good. I'll have the burger video linked if you want to check it out. But what I did was, last night I went ahead and broke this thing down. You know, I cleaned off all it develops like a bark on the outside when you dry age, so I cleaned all that off, created 2 nice steaks. One I'm going to be using in the burger. And then I went ahead and did a dry brine with the Himalayan pink salt. So I salted both sides pretty liberally and the back on the edges here, and put it in the refrigerator on this cooling rack, uncovered, and just let the salt do its magic. And basically what's happening is the salt is pulling out the water, and then the steak's pulling the salt and the water back in the meat. So you get a really nice seasoned bite with the steaks. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a forward sear on this. I'm using El Fuego Trio. We're going to kick this off with that forward sear. Going to use a good old, a cast iron skillet that's been in the family probably over 90 years. And as I said, we're going to be basting it with a blend of beef tallow and butter. And then I'm also going to throw some garlic and some rosemary in it. Let's do that right now. So first thing I want to show you is I have the fire pot fully exposed. I do not have that sear plate in place. I want a stream of flame coming straight up towards the bottom of my skillet. Get this turned on. Now I'm just going to crank it up all the way to the maximum, which is 450 degrees. So what I'm doing now is just allowing, that fire to get going before I get the skillet on top. There will be no live fire in this cook. I'm doing the whole thing with pellets. We're using Mesquite pellets. My plan is, once I get the good flame, I'll get the skillet heated up, get some of that fat, some of that butter and tallow in there, get the sear going on the steak. Once I have the nice sear that I'm looking for, I will pull the steak off and let it rest a little bit. And in the meantime, get that lid closed, and I'm going to set the cooker for 225 degrees where we'll finish the doneness of the steak. All right, we have a nice roaring fire going here. Now let's get this skillet heated up. So I'm not going off of temperatures or anything in the skillet. I'll just use a little water, and when it's really beating, I'll know that it's hot enough. All right, let's start getting some fat in here. Start off with the beef tallow. Go butter. And what I'm going to do is get the steak in here, and I'm going to be flipping it every 15 seconds. Just keep it going until I have a really nice sear. I'm not going to let it loiter for a long time in one position. Get a little rosemary in there. Get that steak down. garlic in here now. More rosemary. That looks good, and I am pulling it off. As I said earlier, I'm going to allow this to rest a little bit. I'm going to set this up now for the low and slow. All right, first thing I'm going to do is get this fire pot cover back in place. Get this set for 225 degrees. All right, the pit is running at 225 now, and it took about 20 minutes to kind of settle down and bring it down to that temperature. I'm gonna hit some ground pepper on the steak. And as soon as I pulled the steak off the pit to rest, I inserted the thermometer, the temperature probe, and it is, I watched the carryover and everything, and it's right around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, we are going to be using this side here, which is normally the live fire side, but this grate wasn't exposed at extreme heat, so I just wanted to make sure it was on a cooler grate. Put that on. All right, as I said earlier, that steak was at 90 degrees when I put it back on the pit. So what I'm going to do now is I'll flip it at 100 and pull it at 125. And that's Fahrenheit, by the way. All right, we are at 100 degrees Fahrenheit internal now. So like I said earlier, I am going to flip this 2-pound steak. So good. Nice crust right there, wow. So next stop will be 125 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, we have just hit 125 degrees. That took about an hour, actually. Check that out. Beautiful, beautiful mahogany color. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm just gonna allow this to rest a little bit, and then I'll meet you guys back at the cutting board. This has got a gorgeous crust on it. All right, and here we are. Again, just look at that gorgeous crust that we achieved. It smells, I'm smelling that wood smell. It's smelling good. Just gonna go ahead and go right down the middle. Bing. I would say that's about as perfect as it gets as far as medium rare. That is gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is continue slicing this. I'm going to get it plated up for us. I just want to see this a little bit more fancy than laying on a cutting board. And here we are. I think this presentation is a little bit more fitting. Now let's see how we did. I already took a little schnitzel of this behind the scenes, so I know how it just smells so good. I'm really happy that the garlic and the rosemary is coming out, and it's definitely, has that mesquite flavor going on. Other than that, it's just so rich. First of all, it's prime rib, but being bathed in all that butter and beef tallow. I just got into that crust. Forget about the crust, wow. I don't know if I said it enough, but I absolutely love this El Fuego trio. Such an amazing cooker. So far everything I've done, not only did it do well, but I've had fun doing it. And I've been trying to go outside of the box a little bit, and I think this cook was a little outside of the box. But this is a technique that I really enjoy, again, basting the meat with that hot fat to develop that crust. And boy, is this crust good. But If you have any requests, let me know a bit down below or shoot me an email. If you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting the sub button, ringing the notification bell, thumb it up if you like it. I hope you did, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.